Listen, and it seems like all my raps been prayers laid. Songs like the prayers of David, fire like the hands of hate. Knowledge to the spelimation. My boo vibrant like I hear from Haiti. If you ride, let us kill a fake. And no trying to.
Reporting live from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Well, you know, whenever we think of Asia coming from the West, derogatory, true, but we think more or less people who look like Chinese people or look like Vietnamese people or Korean people. We don't think of Asia as being a really diverse place. But Malaysia is super duper diverse. Like, there are 4 major ethnic groups here. You have like the Malay ethnic group, which is a mix even within itself. And I'm gonna list them in order of like the social class. So Malay being the highest. Then the next being Chinese, like actual Chinese immigrants or children of Chinese immigrants, 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation. Then after that, Indian from India, and predominantly from southern India. And I'll get back to that in a second. And then lastly, the lowest on the totem pole being the indigenous people, the Orang Asli, also called Negritos, as you know, they can be found throughout the Philippines, throughout Thailand, and just throughout Asia in general, throughout southern Asia in general. But back to the Indians, 2 more points. First point, it's really cool to see these are like dark-skinned Indians. Like, I'm black, but them boys black for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? They not no light-skinned brothers, if you understand what I'm saying. Only thing that makes me, I guess, I can't even say I'm blacker than them, but it's my hair. Cause I got that kunta, you feel me? Nice and proud, by the way. Thank you. Shout out to Thelma. That's my grandma. But if it wasn't for their hair being just jet straight, and them boys would be the blackest individuals on the whole face of the earth. And I can tell in that, they're a minority in the sense of population, and also how we've been taught to see the word minority as meaning basically just being an oppressed people or being an underclass of people. I can tell just based on their vibe, they emulate a lot of things with like a black American culture. And it's cool to see that just on the train the other day. And it was a young dude. He was probably around my age, maybe a year or 2 younger, a year or 2 older. And he was on the train listening to Tupac. He had like the little mohawk haircut, you feel me? Like mohawk fade joint. Had on like some Nikes with like a cool graphic shirt. And it's just like, it's similar, you can tell, and they're considered black here. Like they're considered the black people of here, along with the indigenous population. So I thought that's really cool. And that has me like, now I want to go to southern India, really get a feel for their culture and how they live. Prior to coming here, the only thing I really knew about Malaysia, besides like that plane accident that happened a couple years ago, the only thing that I knew just from social media and seeing people post pictures and from Google was like the Hindu temples and the Batu caves. And like, that's cool. It's really live and everybody should travel and see that. But then I never really heard too much about the indigenous people. And I think that's for 2 reasons. One, because they're indigenous to Asia and they're black people. Like, wide nose, thick lip, curly hair that left out of Africa on that first migration. Numbers, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make up stuff. I think we can all go do our research, and I have more research to do. I'm not just trying to spread information or sound smart, but these are people that come from the human race's first migration out of Africa, going across the Indian Ocean across the Red Sea to southern Arabian Peninsula, across to India, and then coming over into Asia through the chain of islands, going into Australia, and also into the South Pacific, Tonga, Fiji. So I think that's a big part of the reason why they're kept under wraps. And also in talking to people, they say how, as I was explaining earlier, they're at the bottom of the society. They're under everybody, even under the newly arriving immigrants who've come in the last, 100 years or so. They totally delegated. They basically just still live in the jungle. And I've seen a couple of them like here in the city, and you can tell it's like all the signs of being a highly oppressed people. Homelessness. if everybody else is walking around looking good, they looking bad, basically. You know what I'm saying? To make it simple. But, you know, back to the Batu Caves. If you leave Batu Caves, you can go to the Orang Asli Museum. I found this out just by Googling Orang Asli Malaysia. But they have a museum, and I encourage everybody, especially, you know what I'm saying, all my BlackPackers out there, like, when you come to Malaysia, yeah, go to see everything. You know, go to Little India, go to Chinatown, you know, check out all the different things that make Malaysia a great and a beautiful country. But never forget, always show love and respect and homage to the natives. You know what I mean? Wherever you are on planet Earth, we always got to show respect and homage to the natives. And by taking that trip, I think I paid what's the equivalent of $20 US for like a 30-minute cab ride to the museum, which is further outside the city, like going in towards the jungle, because that's where most of them live. They live like in really remote areas of the country. But going out there, the man waited on me like an hour and then brought me back for 20 bucks. So it's definitely feasible. And then if you're gonna go to Batu Caves, you might as well just catch a cab from right there and go check out the museum, and then you can come back to the caves, hop on the metro, and come back to the city.
Here it goes. Put a bullet in the P for Michael Mama. Fuck Obama with a bunch of karma. And we down in the drain, dying trying to gain a lot, just some change. I said we dying trying to gain a lot, just some change. Neo Slave.